everyone, welcome back to what the fuck? Let's try that again. Hello everyone, it's been a while, welcome back to I've Been Playing. Today we're talking about the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. You probably don't need me to explain what Elden Ring is, but just in case you're not aware, it is From Software's latest game, i.e. the people behind Dark Souls and Demon Souls and Bloodborne and that whole genre of things, you know, the Souls-likes, but the actual Souls games because From Software made them. You know what I mean. Anyway, that's what it is, if somehow you're unaware. The Shadow of the Erdtree is the DLC that came out a fair amount of time ago now. I haven't had much time to play games for fun, unless I'm playing like House Flipper at 10 o'clock at night before I go to bed. But I have played a bit of it, I played a few hours of it. In order to access the DLC, everyone kind of assumed this anyway, I think, or it was alluded to in the base game before the DLC was even announced, even though everyone figured there would be. Both because there has been for everything except Sekiro, I think, and because it may have been alluded to, I don't remember. To the hand of Mikola, it has to be Mikola, he's the one they're talking about in the DLC all the time, I think? I'm pretty sure. How can I not remember this? Oh wait, it's because From Software doesn't explain their lore. They just kind of hope you figure it out. Anyway, there's this big egg, this is gonna sound weird. Again, welcome to From Software games. There's this big egg with a hand sticking out of it, and in order to get to the DLC, it's behind a boss fight area. Moog, I think, is the boss. It's been a while since I played the game, at least a year and a half. I had to get reacquainted with the controls, but I think that's the boss area it's in. You go there, you talk to some people, they're like following Mikola or something. Again, not really clear, haven't played it very much to be honest with you, few hours, and piecing together lore in a From Software game is difficult at the best of times. So you go there, you touch the creepy withered hand in the egg, and then you get transported to the DLC area, which I feel like has a name like the Shadowlands. I really should look things up before I record videos, shouldn't I? In any case, you get to this big, wide, open area full of ghostly graves, ghostly gravestones. A lot of them are just kind of not holograms. I don't know what you would call them. They're not real, but they're there. Or maybe they're real, but they're not real gravestones? But anyway, you pop into the DLC, you wander down a hill, you get attacked by a horrible monster that's very difficult, and then you go like, oh yeah, that's right, this is From Software, everything's going to kick my ass. One of the major things that I've seen people talk about with this is that it's very difficult. Now, originally, before I started playing it, I was like, well yes, obviously, all of their DLCs have always been harder than the main games. It's for the people who want to seek out that extra it's DLC. It's for the people who want to seek out that extra challenge, because clearly something's wrong with us. So I wasn't going into it expecting it to be easy. I'm not the highest level you can get in the main game. I don't know what it is, but I'm 20 to 30 levels under what the max level is. I looked it up and I don't remember, and I'm about 20 levels under that, or I was when I started it. And let me tell you, it is difficult. And not in the ways I expected. Part of the reason I think so many people have been saying this is because Elden Ring drew in a lot of people that hadn't played other Souls games. It was a little more approachable than others because it's open world. You have more of a chance to kind of wander off and level up and then come back than you do in other Souls games, because Souls games you can explore, but and like Bloodborne and stuff, you can explore a little bit, but there is kind of, you know, one path you need to go. And there is an order of bosses and stuff in Elden Ring, but it's an open world. You can go explore wherever the hell you want. If you run into a wall, you can go halfway across the map and fight something else. So it's different. It brought in more people than I think any of the other Souls games have, any of the other From Software games have. So I think part of the reason people are finding it so difficult is because there are so many people who aren't used to Souls games necessarily and weren't quite expecting the jump up in difficulty that it was. That's part of the thing. The other part of the thing is that for some annoying reason, they have made a completely separate upgrade system for the DLC, and so you're weak as shit when you get there, regardless. I'm pretty sure they always scale to some degree, and I know, like, if you go into it in New Game Plus, which I almost did because I forgot that I had started a New Game Plus to get the last trophy for the platinum. I almost went into it on New Game Plus, and then I remembered how badly that went for me with Bloodborne, although I'm getting through it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna reload that save from right before I ended the game so that it scales with just base stats and doesn't think I'm on New Game Plus, because I would have no hope in hell of completing it if I was playing it on New Game Plus, and I'd have to fight a bunch of bosses again, because when you do New Game Plus, I think you have the entire map, but there aren't nearly as many warp points, and so I'd still have to fight my way there. Like, I couldn't even get underground because I was trying to figure out how to get to the underground map from where I initially started, and I was like, oh, I haven't been down there in this playthrough because I'm on New Game Plus. Anyway, that was a complete aside. What was I talking about? The difficulty. Yes, so there's a new upgrade system. You have 2 separate upgrades. One of them, tree fragments. It's apparently pronounced shadow tree, technically, which makes sense, but it looks like Skadu tree or something, or Scadu tree. And there's another one that I can't remember the name of. I think it's ashes of some sort, and they upgrade your attack and defense, I believe, but only in DLC area. Which means that not only is the DLC harder just generally, because they always are, it's also harder because you don't have the right upgrades. And let me tell you, I went into it, like I said, expecting it to be difficult. I ran into the first enemy that's like some obnoxious dancer with like circle blades and is a pain in the ass, and they show up elsewhere too, but it kicked the crap out of me. I found a boss in a tomb or something, not one of the major story bosses, but a side boss, and it was funny. I went in there one time and it completely just killed me immediately. Like, it wiped my health bar out. The next time I went in there, I killed it. Barely. I didn't have any healing left, but I barely got it. So all of the enemies, not just the bosses, all of the enemies take huge amounts of health off, like actually kind of ridiculous amounts of health off of your health bar. And I think it's gotten a little better because I have collected some upgrades, but it's still quite difficult. I don't think I've gotten very far into it. I went up. There's a big archway. You go through the archway, you go up through a castle area. There's some horrible fly human hybrid enemies that are horrible, like I said, and you go through all that, you get to the top, there's a dancing lion something. I did eventually beat it. It wasn't too bad. There was a summon there, and you can still use your ashes from the base game, so I summoned, I don't remember whether it was the Mimic Tier or the other one with a blade that does bleed, that I can't remember the name of, but I got through that. That's the only kind of main boss I fought that. I went all the way up to the top of the tower. It's blocked off by shadow, so I don't know what's in there because I can't get in there yet. And then there's another little bit where you cross over a bridge. There's an encampment, and you're very clearly supposed to go like forward, but I got distracted and went elsewhere, and now I have a bunch of other stuff to do and a couple of other crypts that I haven't gone in. And I went in one crypt that I thought was gonna have a boss, and it didn't have a boss. It just had a bunch of obnoxious slimes and a pipe I had to climb up. So that's what I've experienced so far. It's difficult, but again, I expected it to be difficult. Is it more difficult than I expected? Possibly, yes, because of the upgrade system, but it's getting easier now that I've played it again, because obviously when I jumped back in initially, I practiced a little bit. I did like a half an hour of just running around the open world and trying to remember what the buttons were before I went there. So as I get re-familiar with the systems, it's not that bad. One of the main things is you can now sort your inventory by when you got stuff, but when I tried to do that, it didn't seem to do that, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. This is kind of less of a strict recommendation video than others. It's more just me talking about my experience with it, which isn't very much because I don't think I've gotten very far, honestly. And I figure you already know if you want this or not. Probably you have it if you wanted it, so I'm just here to chat, and that's really all I have to say. So if you have any thoughts on the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, or any tips, because again, I'm not very far into it. I don't want to know bosses or anything, at least not yet. You know, I'll look them up if I need help, but if you have any tips for upgrading or like weapons, I know there are new weapons and stuff. I've picked up some new weapons and stuff, new armor. I haven't really traded any of it out because I liked what I had, and I had one of the, I can't remember the sword, the katana, that basically got me through everything in the game. And I'm still just using that, but I don't know if there's a better weapon in the DLC, but the thing is I don't know if I want to spend my time upgrading a new weapon when I'm used to that one, and it got me through the rest of the game. Anyway, let me know your experience down in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, and I will see you next time.